What's up, guys? Back on me is here. We got Smallville Season 2, Episode 6, Redux. Okay, so this episode starts off at the Smallville swimming pool, and we see Clark and his classmates getting ready to swim. When we see this girl named Chrissy, and she's talking with Lana, and she's like, "Hey, do you have like Clark?" And she's like, "Me and Clark are just friends." And then this guy named Troy comes and they kiss off screen. So yeah. So then he comes back and he starts like something's going on with him, and then when they get him out of the pool, Troy's an old man and he ended up dying. So Clark and the gang have to find out what happened. And yeah, and the farm the Kemp farm is under financial debt. So Martha's like, "Hey, let's call my father." But Jonathan's like, "No, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't call him." Yeah. And speaking of fathers, Lana discovered that her mom was with another man while she and her father was married before Lana was born, and it was right after they got married. So yeah. And also learned that Chrissy is becoming old for some reason. So yeah. And we also got a new principal who isn't a fan of Lex, because he used to be like a headmaster at Lex's old board school or prep school called Excelsior Academy. And yeah, so yeah, so he's like, "Clark, what do you?" So he's like, "Hey Clark, what do you want to do in the future?" And Clark's like, "I have no idea." So he's like, he's writing things down, and yeah, so Christy decides to kiss another guy and turn that guy, and she takes the youth right out of that guy's body. I forget his name, but yeah. So Clark and Lex are hanging out, and Lex is like, "Does Mr. Reynolds, the new principal, he's like, he wants me to write this thing on what I'm gonna do in the rest of the year." So Lex goes and he's like, "Just because we had a history and you don't like me, don't blame that on Clark." He's like, Lex, the only reason why I left Excelsior was because remember when you got expelled?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, your father paid me off to say either you got expelled, Lex, or I left the school." So yeah. So Lex had to stay, and Mr. Reynolds had to go. So Martha's dad comes and he meets Clark for the first time. But he's like, "Martha, you could have done other things like living on a farm. You could have taken up my business and all that." See, this guy, he just doesn't like Martha's career passion. He wanted Martha to like take up his job at the company of what he's working at. Yeah, and then Clark tries to get Jonathan and his granddad together, but but Jonathan, he doesn't like the guy. He's like, "Jonathan, you were stubborn as you were 20 years ago when you first met him." So yeah. So Chrissy, she takes Mr. Reynolds and she tries to suck the life out of him, but Clark comes and he's like, "Hey, stop this!" And she's like, "Clark, you'll get to live and young and beautiful and all that stuff." And yeah, and he just punches her. She became old, and he just and after she said that, to stop her, he had to punch her, and she just she died and disintegrated. So yeah, so 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 Lana goes to Clark and she's like, "Hey Clark, I think she she's like my parents took this right after she and her dad got married. So what does that mean? I don't know. But anyway, Lana's like her father may be alive. So her birth dad. Okay? Because she was born right Lana was born right after that. The picture that she found in this episode, so before, so her real dad is somewhere. So yeah, this episode was really good. It was really good. I really liked it. Really liked it. It was a very good episode. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. So I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you next Smallville.